You are listening to the first episode of the Rombot Podcast. My name is Sean, and what's happening, people? At the time of this recording, it's January 1st, 2019, and I guess the podcast is a bit of a New Year's resolution for me. I wanted to do a podcast again, and last year it was a bit of a deficiency of any creative outlet. Last year I was waiting for opportunities, and I realized I just can't wait. This year I'm going to be a little more assertive in delivering art and creating more projects. I just couldn't wait for anyone anymore. It's not anyone's fault. I was reserved, hesitant in going for things that I wanted to do. But with 2019, I told myself I need to move forward rather than waiting for someone to drag me forward. So I really want to do my best to create stuff in general. So I guess that's how the Rombot Podcast was born. And I'm looking forward to creating a bunch of content, whether it be movie reviews and you know what, even any art form, anime, TV shows, and a little bit of professional wrestling, anything. This is going to be a podcast that's not going to be super structured. I realized that my projects in the past, I was trying to follow what other people are doing, and you know what, I'm the kind of guy that wings it, and I'm pretty okay at not being the most articulate person. And I wanted to create a show that I can be free, and I want to be able to talk about stuff that I want to talk about. So every episode's gonna be different every week, and I'm very excited. It could be a food show at one point, because I love food. I love to eat, and I'm just very excited what I want to do with the Rombot. So with that said, what the hell are we gonna talk about today? And of course, my first day of recording, I have a cold, making me sound like some sort of NPR dude. I've made podcasts before. I've made a podcast with my friend Enrico. It was a good time, and I really loved talking about movies. But the problem was, during that time, I was a film student claiming to be a filmmaker. I did not know anything about production at that time. And hearing back to those older episodes, I found myself asking, what the hell are you talking about, Sean? I was claiming I was coming from a perspective of a filmmaker, but in reality, I had zero experience. I have a handful of years of experience working on different TV shows like reality TV, Food Network stuff, independent movies, and now recently some Hollywood blockbusters. I have a totally different outlook now. Like, for example, there are no such thing as bad movies. You could hate a movie, that's all on you, and it's all good, but you can't claim a movie is bad when all these people work their asses off just to make this shit work. Imagine 12 hours a day. Not once in a while shifts, but weeks at a time, 12 hours a day, just to make the movie happen. Movies are made with blood, sweat, and tears, and unfortunately, it's the direction, writing, marketing, all of that. That's what drives a label of bad movie. And if you're going to listen to only one episode of the Rombot, take away this at least. Art in general, people give up their lives. People give up their social lives, their physical, mental health, just to try to make it into the industry. Okay, now let's just get to the main event. It's 2019, and let's move forward by looking back at the best top 10 movies of 2018. If there's one thing I like, it's making lists. I don't know why I love making lists. It's something about figuring out who you love the most. It's super indulgent and really satisfying. Okay, let's get to it. The top 10 movies of 2018. Yeah. Okay, so looking at my list, I'm trying to figure out if I had any sort of theme. And I guess I was really into movies that had a new take or any sort of new experience of familiar beings or stuff that we've seen before. Um, if that makes any sense. We'll get to the details of that in the top five, but for now, I'm just gonna the sound off the 10 to 6 here. And for the record, I did love Infinity Wars, but I was obligated not to put it on the list. It didn't feel like a movie rather than an event. Like you needed to see the 10 years worth of required viewing, and I'm not sure if you haven't seen everything that you would have enjoyed it. Um, so that movie in itself is a bit of an asterisk, like it's otherworldly thing. But the number 10 Black Panther was important for me to be part of this list. Um, I did overall enjoy it, but obviously I was really excited for the the media power it had, and not only it delivered, but it gave a voice of strength to people that never had that strength before. And when we get to our number five, it has that same voice. But anyways, let's go back to the list. So 10 was Black Panther. Number 9 was A Quiet Place. Number 8 was Annihilation. Number 7 was Won't You Be My Neighbor. And my number 6 is Searching. Now, let's talk about number 5, Crazy Rich Asians. So, as an Asian American man, and like many others, I was really excited to find out that there was going to be an all Asian cast. I was also excited as an Asian American man to see a desired male figure be an Asian descent. I mean, when was the last time a big movie featured an Asian man as a love interest or as a sex symbol? I found it really powerful seeing someone like Henry Golding be that fucking handsome, and he's handsome, and also avoid stereotypes of an Asian nerd or a fob with a heavy accent. That was really important to me. There was a moment in the movie where I actually cried, but I'm a crier in movies, so whatever. And it's not at the romantic climax where most people would. It was actually in the beginning. The family enters the hotel soaked from the storm, and this concierge is trying to kick them out. And I don't remember if he used any minor racial remarks, but then there's this sudden power shift, and they realize that the family owns this hotel, and it was this moment of power, this character being proud and desirable. I sat there thinking to myself, "Wow, I'm seeing history unfold." Um, what I also love about this movie is it's a little unorthodox, so bear with me, but I love the idea that this movie has that typical romantic comedy about a mom disapproving of the girlfriend, with a funny sidekick, with desirable characters, and crazy hijinks ensues, right? It just so happens that these people are Asian. This is true and true in an American movie with the lens of an American, but it just so happens that the skin of the characters are different. It wasn't a story about Asians, but it was a story about human beings. I'm just excited for the future. I'm so excited for if this becomes a franchise. I'm just so excited to see more Asian American representation. And overall, it was a good movie. Beautiful art direction. That wedding scene is gorgeous. a lot of funny bits and overall solid drama that makes sense. Great movie. I solid. I loved it. Number 4, Isle of Dogs. I'm a fan of Wes Anderson, and I'm a big aficionado and supporter of animation. So, Isle of Dogs was right up my alley. Isle of Dogs has a whimsical charm and great intimate story most Anderson movies have. But unlike other Anderson movies, it also had this epic tale that spans across the world. An incredible journey where, as a dog owner, I obviously found myself invested in. I'm I'm a little concerned if this tops Fantastic Mr. Fox for me. I may have to see it again to confirm, but I am a sucker for journey movies, encountering new obstacles and characters along the way. Uh, that's my number 4. Which, by the way, Isle of Dogs. Isle of Dogs, huh? Okay, let's move on. My number 3. Sorry to Bother You. Okay, I love the story's telling, the cold hard truth of the American dream, the personas we have to put up to get ahead in life, and how ridiculous power and its mishandling of power can be. Lakeith Steinfeld is a tremendous performer. Tessa Thompson is a powerhouse. Okay, so the ending I did not expect, which is probably the main reason why this movie is up there as my number 3. It's a completely different turn of events, and it completely spins the movie to a direction no one saw coming. And you know what? I love that. It is so unapologetic. It's direct, and it's the epitome of Bay Area independent movies. It's not for everyone, but it's fantastic. I recommend watching Sorry to Bother You. It's a really cool artistic trend of mixing up the form of storytelling, and hopefully that kind of filmmaking thrives and it continually succeeds. That was my number 3. My number 2 is Bo Burnham's 8th Grade. And God, this is the most awkward movie in existence. While I sort of understand the experiences Kayla had, maybe I was that awkward kid transitioning from middle school to high school, but I don't know, maybe going back to my yearbook, I probably can find out, but this movie 8th Grade helped me completely understand the feelings of a 14-year-old girl. It's a good type of cringe, if that makes any sense at all. The pacing, the camera movements, the passing of time, the editing, it really helped accentuate this sense of anxiety of pre-teenhood. It's a great movie. The actress is so authentic here, and her overall look, her charisma, and the way she walks and the way she talks, it fits that mold of an anxious preteen, and it's a great movie, and I related to it so much, and that's definitely my number 2. But it's only number 2. My number 1 movie in 2018 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And here, my friends, is where I'm going to just say stuff in bullet points with exclamation points. So bear with me in this hyperbolic state of mind, if you will. Seeing Miles Morales, an extroverted, artistic Afro-Latino character, being represented as the Spider-Man on the big screen is huge. It's another big movie for representation in media. I remember a long time ago on Halloween, probably like 4 years ago, probably, like my family friend's son dressed up as Spider-Man, and he is a kid from a black Filipino family. So now imagine now that he has someone like Miles Morales on screen, a boy who overcame his own struggles and became a superhero everyone can look up to. Imagine this kid looking at a movie poster and seeing someone that looks just like him being awesome. Anyways, the movie's comic book aesthetic fits so well in this movie. It, not to mention the music kicks so much ass. I love the music here. Um, I wasn't a fan of Post Malone, and now I feel like I have to listen to more of his songs. That Sunflower song is really good. I really enjoy that. Each unique character is so charming that anyone can find anyone to relate to, even Spider Ham. I love Spider Ham. There was a montage here where Miles Morales finally becomes Spider Man, um, and it's a scene where not only he's becoming Spider-Man, but it was important that he did it in his own way. And for the people who've seen that movie will know where I'm talking about. And that scene, that montage, I realized I literally was breathless. I couldn't breathe. Out of sheer excitement and adrenaline and with tears streaming down my face, I think I had a aesthetic moment in the theater, which I'm looking at Google right now. An aesthetic moment is defined as an experience qualitatively different from everyday experience and similar to other exceptional states of mind. Two sub-levels are defined as crucial for aesthetic experience: appraisal of symbolism and compositional regularities. In other words, I think I just had an out-of-body experience. I don't think I'm over exaggerating here, but this is probably the best Spider-Man movie of all time. All time. It is a near perfect blend of action, comedy, character growth, superhero movie. It's such a near perfect blend, and this is probably the best superhero movie in a long time. That's probably a hyperbole right there, but I can't stress enough how much this movie means to me and how awesome it is that other kids can see this movie too. Because I would love to see this kind of movie when I was a kid. This is a once in a generational movie. I haven't felt this way since Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And that movie was very important to me. It helped me realize what my passion in life was, and it was filmmaking, art, and I wanted to pursue that in a career. And I don't know, maybe this movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, is another milestone for me personally of me further pursuing my career in film and animation and design and as of this recording, it barely made its money back. I'm so glad that people are going out to see it, and I hope there's more people to go out and see it, because it deserves all the attention it's having right now. And I'm also excited that they have already announced a sequel, and I'm so fucking pumped. I'm so excited. So, those are my top 10 movies of 2018. I'm sure I've missed a bunch of movies, but you know what? Life is too short to see movies you're not interested in. So, whatever. Alright, and I guess that's it. I'm not sure how to end this episode. Maybe I'll say something cheesy like, I'm looking forward to 2019. I feel like I say this every day, but I hope to make this year my year. But I understand that you can only take steps at a time, but at least with the Rombot Podcast, I hope it interests you, as it is a wonderful challenge for me, and I am definitely looking forward to it. The opening and the ending theme is by Lakey Inspired, and the song is called Days Like These. And if you're interested in his songs, I'll send a link down to the description, and hope you can check him out and support his music as well. Hope you all had a great holiday, and I'll drop in hopefully next week. Who knows? I'm still trying to figure out the schedule. But anyways, this has been Sean, And you just listen to the Rombot Podcast. Take care.